Opening scene: the story begins in the Galactic Council chambers, where alien representatives from dozens of species gather for their regular meeting. The galaxy has been at peace for centuries under the Council's rule. Humans are a newly discovered species considered primitive and weak by galactic standards. Introduction of the conflict: the Council receives disturbing news. A human warship has been detected near the disputed frontier zones. The alien ambassadors laugh at this information. To them, humans are barely spaceworthy, using crude fusion engines, while the rest of the galaxy has mastered quantum drives for generations. The alien perspective ambassador Krell, a towering reptilian from the Draxian Empire, dismisses the human vessel as insignificant. His species has warships the size of moons. Commander Ven, an insectoid warrior from the Hive Collective, agrees. Their fleet numbers in the thousands. What could one human ship possibly do? The Council's military advisor, General Toke, suggests they should still investigate. He notes that humans have been unusually quiet since joining the galactic community 6 months ago. They asked strange questions about warfare, ship design, and weapons treaties. They seemed particularly interested in what was forbidden. The Council decides to send a small patrol fleet to intercept the human warship. It's meant as a show of force, a reminder that humans must follow galactic law. 5 Council warships are dispatched. The mission is expected to take a few hours at most. The human ship, the patrol fleet, arrives at the coordinates. What they find confuses them. The human warship, designated Retribution, is smaller than expected. It's rough-looking, with exposed hull plating and what appears to be primitive armor. No elegant curves or shimmering shields like proper warships. It looks like something built in a hurry. Captain Dorn of the patrol fleet opens a communication channel. He demands the human ship power down and prepare for inspection. There's a long silence, and a human voice responds, almost amused. Captain Ross of the Retribution asks why they should comply. The standoff Dorn threatens to open fire if the humans don't surrender. The human captain laughs. He says something strange. You've never seen war, have you? Real war, not your centuries of peace and treaties. You've forgotten what species do when survival is all that matters. The alien captains are insulted. They've trained for combat. They have advanced weapons and shields. Dorn orders his ships to lock weapons on the human vessel. The Retribution doesn't move, doesn't power up shields, doesn't attempt to flee. The demonstration Ross speaks again. He tells them that humanity spent 10,000 years perfecting one skill: killing each other. Every human invention was eventually weaponized. Every peace was temporary. Every generation knew war. While the galaxy enjoyed peace, humanity was still building better ways to destroy. He says humans were actually relieved to find aliens, not because they wanted friends, but because they finally had an external threat to unite against. And in the 6 months since first contact, humanity had been preparing. The first strike, before Dorn can respond, the Retribution fires. But it's not energy weapons or plasma torpedoes like the Council uses. It's something the aliens don't recognize: railgun slugs accelerated to a fraction of light speed. Kinetic weapons that don't show up on energy sensors. The first slug punches through Dorn's flagship shields like they don't exist. Shields are designed to stop energy weapons, not solid projectiles moving at relativistic speeds. The slug tears through 3 decks before exiting the other side. The patrol fleet panics and returns fire. Their energy beams hit the Retribution's hull, but barely leave scorch marks. The human ship has no shields because its entire hull is ablative armor designed to absorb and disperse energy attacks. The realization: within minutes, 2 Council ships are crippled. The Retribution hasn't taken significant damage. The remaining ships attempt to flee, but the human vessel is faster than it looked. Its crude fusion drives are actually overcharged engines that sacrifice efficiency for raw power. The ending hook as Dorn's damaged flagship limps away. Ross sends a final message to the Council. He tells them this was just one ship and older patrol vessel. Humanity has been building a fleet in secret. Hundreds of warships designed with one purpose, to show the galaxy what happens when a species that never stopped fighting decides to go to war. The message ends with a warning. We didn't want this. But if you force our hand, you'll learn why humans are the only species that creates gods just to have something worth killing. Asterisk the Council's emergency session. Galactic Council meets in emergency session within hours of receiving Captain Ross's message. The chamber, usually filled with calm deliberation, now erupts in chaos. Representatives shout over each other. Some demand immediate military action against humanity. Others call for diplomacy. A few suggest retreat. Ambassador Krell slams his clawed hand on the table. He calls the human threat exaggerated. One lucky battle means nothing. The Council has superior numbers, better technology, and centuries of coordination. He proposes assembling a proper battle fleet 200 warships to crush human ambitions before they spread. General Toke studies the battle recordings from Dorn's fleet. Something troubles him. The human tactics weren't just effective. They were deliberately designed to counter every advantage the Council possessed. Shields bypassed. Energy weapons neutralized. Speed underestimated. It was as if humans had studied Council doctrine and built specifically to defeat it. The intelligence report, an intelligence officer named Lyra, presents her findings. For 6 months, humans had asked innocent-sounding questions. They inquired about shield frequencies, claiming they wanted to match Council standards. They asked about weapons treaties, supposedly to ensure compliance. They requested ship design specifications, allegedly for compatibility with docking stations. The Council had shared everything freely. Why wouldn't they? Humans seemed eager to integrate, to learn, to follow galactic norms. Now Lyra understood the truth. Humans weren't learning to fit in. They were gathering intelligence for war. But there's more. Lyra's team detected unusual activity in the human home system. Energy signatures consistent with massive construction. Hundreds of facilities operating at full capacity. The humans weren't building a fleet. They had already built it. The historical context. Elder delegate named Orin speaks. He's a scholar who studied humanity's data files. He tells the Council something they overlooked. Human history is nothing but warfare. They fought with sticks and stones, then swords and arrows, then guns and bombs, then nuclear weapons that could destroy their own planet. Humans had 2 great world wars that killed millions. They created weapons so terrible, they agreed never to use them, then built more anyway. They militarized space before they had proper space travel. Their entertainment glorified combat. Their children played war games. Their greatest heroes were warriors. The galaxy had been at peace for 800 years. In that same time frame, humans had fought approximately 15,000 wars. They never stopped. They never evolved past it. Violence was embedded in their culture, their psychology, their evolution. The trap revealed Captain Dorn, recovering from his injuries, addresses the Council via transmission. He reveals something Ross told him during their final communication. The Retribution wasn't trying to hide. It wanted to be found. The entire encounter was a demonstration. Humanity knew the Council would see them as weak, knew the Council would send a small force, knew they would underestimate human capabilities. The patrol fleet wasn't destroyed. It was allowed to escape to carry a message. Ross had said humans learned long ago that the best way to win a war is to make the enemy too afraid to fight. Shock and awe, overwhelming force, psychological warfare. Make your opponent surrender before the real battle begins. The ultimatum, a new transmission, arrives from Earth, not from Captain Ross, but from someone called Director Hayes of the Human Defense Initiative. The message is simple and direct. Humanity doesn't want war, but they will never be defenseless again. They spent their entire history being conquered, enslaved, and nearly destroyed by their own kind. They clawed their way to the top of their planet's food chain through being better at violence than anything else. When they discovered the galaxy, they saw the same pattern stronger species dominating weaker ones. The Council maintains peace through superior force. Humanity refuses to be on the bottom of that hierarchy. Hayes presents two options. First, the Council recognizes humanity as an equal power with full sovereignty and defensive rights. Humans will maintain their fleet, but won't expand aggressively. Second, the Council attempts to subjugate humanity, and the galaxy learns what total war actually means. The choice the Council chamber falls silent. Ambassador Krell wants to fight. General Toke counsels caution. Elder Orin suggests they're looking at this wrong humanity isn't threatening the peace. They're revealing that the peace was always built on the threat of force. Humans are just honest about it. The vote is called. Does the Council accept humanity as an equal military power, or do they go to war? The screen fades as hands raise throughout the chamber, the decision about to reshape the galaxy forever. Asterisk.